What's up, guys? It is JTB here. Not only am I back with Madden content after a lot of time off, but I'm coming back with a bang. Not only is it a fantasy draft, not only am I playing with 1-minute quarters, but I'm doing all this with the rosters from Madden 2005. Obviously, there's going to be some players that aren't even in the game anymore. They're going to be there. There's also players, I think very, very few though, that are actually still in the game. And it's going to be simple enough. Each episode, going to give you guys a little bit of an intro about the game about to happen. Show you guys are going to see the entire gameplay. And then afterwards, we'll go ahead and talk about the game, how it all went. So that's how this episode is going to go. That's how all the episodes are going to go. Our ultimate goal, one season, get there, and then obviously win it all. Win the Super Bowl. But with that being said, let's get into the video. What's up, guys? It is JTB here, and today's episode should be an absolute steamrolling. We're facing off against the 1-6 Detroit Lions. I mean, their best players aren't even that good. I mean, they're an 83 overall team, and because of these crazy rosters, I'm assuming they're starting right guard Miles Jack, so I mean, we should crush them. Here's the gameplay.
Halloween presentation of the NFL on EA Sports.
Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And out will come the leader of this offense, and that, of course, is their signal caller.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 14 carries, 56 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, watching the film, we saw that things clicked pretty well for them in the running game last week. No reason to change in my mind. Continue to try and run the football, give it to them early and often in hopes of breaking down the defense so some bigger gains result as the game goes on.
No score after 1 on EA Sports. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw. Wallace. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. So, Charles, you talk about this offense, this week 8 of the 2021 campaign. Now, normally this would be the halfway point of the season, but as we all know, this now a 17-game regular season. Because of that, seems like now maybe more than ever, getting your open week to occur later in the season, that could be a pretty big advantage.
Brandon, it's always been a big advantage, and now, as you pointed out, the possibility of it becoming huge, likely. Most teams want that later open date because of injuries, you know, getting that rest before the playoff push, all of those things. Sometimes when you get an open date early in the season, it's not really much of an advantage. You might be...
And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Here comes the Lions punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Goes over here on the punt, and the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
It's a play fake. Now Vick steps away. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. And now following the incomplete pass, we'll get a timeout here for an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back. Second and 10. From the gun, Vick. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to launch this deep for Watson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly no lack of aggressiveness here. They were hoping for the home run play to get them 6 points. They're hoping for a catch, maybe a call, but they figure they can at least get into field goal range with a completion.
Going to be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Lions will take over. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive as they go to work with 12 seconds on the clock. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll work this back to right around the line of scrimmage and surrender there. So we are at halftime. Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. So no scoring in our first half. What will the second half bring as we are now back underway? A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. So back onto the field, here come the Eagles for their second drive. And we thought this game had the potential to be tight, maybe not this tight, scoreless as we start the third quarter.
And I love the way you use the word tight. I'm going to take it a little bit different direction here.
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. Well, you don't want to coach him, Charles, to stay in the pocket on every play, but I guess that's the danger of getting outside of the pocket, extending a play, and making a bad throw. Turns into 6 points the other way.
Yeah, sometimes when you get outside the pocket, your vision actually gets obscured a little bit, or you narrow it down too much, and you don't see all the defenders in the area.
Now the try here for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and the Lions lead 7-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be fielded inside the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Philadelphia's offense ready to give us another look. And, Charles, we've seen almost 3 full quarters now, and neither offense can really get it going. Neither has hit the end zone, and neither side seemingly can make that big play.
But the game hasn't been devoid of action because these two defenses, they've taken over and they've slugged it out. But I think you're exactly right. We're at that stage of the game now where one of these offenses, if they make a big play, that could be the difference.
13 yards remaining on second down. To throw, Vick. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. So an opening drive interception to begin this second half.
And just think about the time you spent in the locker room going over what you expected to do in the second half. Not the way they saw it, not the way they drew it up. You find out this is something that you can't just, and now they've got to find a way out of this hole.
Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end.
I know I spend a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now Lewis here on first down. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. This is Lewis. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. They run with Lewis out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down. And they'll indeed take a knee. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And his kick is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here. He's going to let it fly. And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete.
As I said last episode, I have to apologize. -9 passing yards, no rush yards. We got shut out 10-0 by the Detroit Lions. This might be the worst game I've ever played. The Detroit Lions, the 1-6 Detroit Lions, mind you. 10-0, we had negative yards. I can't believe what just happened. Like, I can't even... And we're facing off against a very good Chargers team as well. So, they lead the league in offensive points per game. So, next up, we could be in a little bit of a rough spot right now, considering the current results we've been getting. But, just gotta hope, you know, any given Sunday, anything can happen. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new. And it is JTB, signing off.